Good morning, my name is Nikki. I am Vlogs by Nikki on Instagram, and my jewellery business is Created by Nikki on Instagram and Created by Nikki UK on Etsy. I have been invited by Kernowcraft to do a day in the life of a jeweller. I'm really excited because whereas quite a lot of jewellery makers have it as their sole business, which I'm so jealous of, this for me is just a bit of a sideline hobby / business, which I do alongside my main role, which is a project coordinator for Hospitality Table Cornwall. So today I'm going to show you kind of a different side of it. So like I said, this is a hobby for me. I actually got into jewellery making through my friend Hannah, who works for Kernowcraft. We worked together on the Autumn Lookbook, which is featured on Kernowcraft's website. And after that, I just kind of fell in love with Kernowcraft's products. I wanted to find out more about how I could make products out of beach finds. I am such a keen beachcomber. I love going and looking for sea glass. It's something that I've done for a long time. It's almost like a bit of a therapy to me, and I know it is to a lot of other people as well. So I wanted to do something with the boxes, not even boxes, masses of sea glass that I have at home, and I just wanted to do something a little bit creative that took me away from using my phone all the time. And I started it in lockdown. I'd probably say just before Christmas, maybe 6 or 7 months ago, is when I started to learn how to make jewellery. I'm still very much, I would say, in the kind of beginner stages. I don't know tons of processes, but I know the processes that work for my particular style, which is sea glass jewellery making, which you've probably guessed by now. So I create necklaces, I've also created earrings, really simple designs on sterling silver, and a lot of the products I use are from Kernowcraft. So today I am off work and I'm going to be showing you a few kind of clips of my processes with jewellery making. Now, every day is going to be completely different for me because it isn't my sole business. So some days I might do some packing of orders, other days I might have some sea glass which I can drill and make into necklaces, and other days I might not do anything to do with jewellery making. But today I'm going to fit in as much as I can to show you. But yeah, I'm going to take you on my journey today and show you how I make the necklaces, kind of my marketing style, and kind of the way I put them up on Etsy and package them and all kind of things like that. So I hope you enjoy. Yeah, let's get on with it. Okay, before we do anything else, it's probably good for me to show you an example of the jewellery that I make. So this is obviously a bit of Cornish sea glass, and I have put it onto a sterling silver belcher chain just with a little sterling silver. I think this is probably a 5mm jump ring, and that's probably as simple as my necklaces get. I think with the beauty of sea glass, you don't need too much to make it look beautiful. This is, yeah, kind of the main bulk of items that I stock. I also stock some of my necklaces with different bails attached to them as well. But yeah, this is the majority of the kind of necklaces that I create. Right, let's have a look inside my kind of jewellery making hamper, I would probably call this. This is the majority of my jewellery making stuff other than my drill. Luckily, I actually cleaned through this at the beginning of the week, so this came at a really good time. Let's go through kind of just some of the items that I have in here, and this is probably where I go for most things. Anything to do with sea glass, I will come in here. I won't go through every little thing, but obviously stamps. Here I keep all of my jump rings. I have obviously, as you can see, labelled them, otherwise I wouldn't have a clue what I am using. Let's just have a little open up. So yeah, not much to it really, just a load of jump rings. I also have some sea glass in here that I haven't properly used yet, a few gold jump rings. These are the sterling silver leaf bells that I used from Kernowcraft. They've got them back in stock now, and I know they are one of the most popular things that Kernowcraft sell, and I'm not surprised because they are stunning and you can't get these anywhere else. So I'm excited to start making jewellery with these again. They are definitely my most popular, so yeah, love those. Here I have my packaging materials, obviously not all of it, but the majority of it. I try and be as environmentally friendly as I possibly can, so I don't use any sellotape anymore. This is purely for decoration purposes. All of my products go into an organza bag just to protect them. I have changed up my packaging from when I first started doing this, and I just find this is just a nicer way of wrapping it up. Got little thank you cards which I feature in there, and then I have a little quote here which is what I put in with the package, which says, "My feet sank into the sand and a wave of serenity washed over me. I'm home." And this is a quote that I kind of made up myself, to be honest. Just the feeling I get when I go sea glass hunting, and I know that when people receive my orders, if they want a bit of Cornwall or Cornwall brings them some sort of peace, then I just feel like this quote is perfect. And then on the back, I've just got a little note which I say thank you, and I put the people's name here. And yeah, that's kind of my main packaging. I also have some little Created by Niki stickers too, which I stick on the packaging. At the moment, I am using acid-free tissue paper, and then I wrap it in some brown paper. And that's kind of my packaging, but we'll go through that later on when I'm actually making items. Here we start to go into the crazy amount of sea glass that I have. These are all quite large bits, which I don't really put onto jewellery, but I will find something to use these for. This bit I've just found is stunning. I have some Kernowcraft protection kind of tape stuff here. What's it called? Alligator. Oh, finger protection tape. That took a while. This is good for if you're drilling or sanding things down. I have my drill bits here for sea glass making. You probably already know, but you need to have diamond coated drill bits. Kernowcraft do sell these as well separately so that you can get exactly the right millimeter size for your drilling. Here is, I actually really love this. I can't remember where I got it from. I don't use this as much purely because everything I need is in the other boxes. I've got myself some epoxy glue here, which is perfect for gluing items to sea glass. Got this from Kernowcraft. I've just got kind of all sorts. To be honest here. I've got a few different earring fixings, a few chains that I don't really use anymore, a few bits of sea glass that I just either need to drill or have drilled, as you can see here. Put in a little jump ring in some of these. So this is just the random, basically need to clear out box. All of my acid-free tissue paper is there, and that's kind of it in here. Yeah, this is just my go-to box to find everything I possibly need. We will wrap an order later, so I will show you how I use this box for all of my wrapping. But yeah, that's pretty much everything in there. Okay, now moving on to the drilling side of things. This is my setup. I am on a kitchen counter purely because I don't have the space where we currently live, but we are in the process of moving, so I will eventually have a whole space to do this. However, this just shows that you can do this anywhere. You don't have to have a professional workspace to be able to make jewellery. Yeah, the island counter for me is fine. The lighting here isn't great, however, I do normally like put all of the lights on and get an external light which I can just prop up to help me. I'm going to show you what I use for all of this. With sea glass making, a Dremel drill is the go-to. My dad actually let me borrow this so I could try it out without committing fully to see if I liked making jewellery or not. So yeah, I use the Dremel drill and I have the diamond coated drill bits just on the end here. I already have one on, so I'll leave that one on. But as I mentioned, I just use a pack, and you can also get them on Kernowcraft individually as well. I have my little pot of water and also like a little rubber kind of mat which I have underneath, so when I'm drilling through, it won't drill through the plastic. It goes straight onto the mat, and as you can see here, it's just got some little dots in it where it's yeah, just gone through and it protects it. Here I have the sea glass that I'm wanting to drill. Look how beautiful this colour is. I'm obsessed with green. With this one I'm just going to put a tiny little hole in the top, and that will be on a necklace. After I've done that, what I do is I then put them into oil here. You can use any kind of oil. I use just any oil that I have in the house. Baby oil works as well, and this is just going to really bring out the colour like nothing else, basically. When I first started making them, I didn't use oil, and I've now realised how important it is to use it. So I use these on all orders now. Oil up the sea glass before it gets sent out, and yeah, it just makes the colour look absolutely stunning. So what I might do is show you a before and after using the oil, just so you can see why it's so important to use. But yeah, let's get cracking into drilling some sea glass. When I start off, I always like to use one which isn't my favourite piece, because if you haven't been drilling these bits of sea glass for a few days or a few weeks or a few months, you can start off a little bit rusty, which I often find I do. So I'm going to pick some which I don't mind if they mess up. These ones are all quite nice little bits. I'll do this one. So you want it so that when you press into the bit of sea glass, it's underwater. This is purely safety. You don't want it to get too hot, and the friction can get it really, really hot. So doing this with water is perfect. Obviously, one thing you do want to do is make sure that when you are drilling, your actual drill doesn't go underneath the water. Obviously, that's pretty dangerous. You're using electric, so I won't give you a full how-to on how to make sea glass because I know that Kernowcraft have some of these already. So yeah, let's start. So I'm going to put this on level 2. And then I just kind of press it and lift as well. So I don't know if you can see me like pressing and lifting. This is just going to make sure that it's nice and clean the whole throughout. You don't want to press too hard either, just kind of naturally let your hand rest. Because I have scratched this one a little bit, I will buff it at the end. So, we've gone all the way through here. So, turning my drill off, I'm going to show you what I've done. So you can see here, I have made the hole straight through. It's pretty central on both sides. Then what we can do is drop it into the oil, take it out straight away, dry it and rub it away on a bit of tissue. It's just nice and shiny. So yeah, what I'll do now is just kind of set that aside and it can dry off, I think is the term I'm looking for. This bit is so nice. It's a nice midnight blue. I found this at Atlantic Bay. So I'm gonna drill through the top part of this one, the thinner little bit. Need to get myself a proper vlogging camera, so I have one for work, but I wanted to film on this one today. I'm going to show you exactly how chunky this is and how heavy this is to lug around. That is yeah, I wouldn't recommend for vlogging. However, I wanted to use this camera today, so there you go. This is my cat Lily. She's a huge part of the Created by Niki business. She basically is just a support, I would say. You don't really do much, you just support. So if I'm packaging, that's when she's most interested because she likes to come along and sit on the packaging. So it does make the process a little bit longer considering I have to make sure there's no cat hairs on anything. But she's all right, aren't you? You're quite a good support system. Now for the fiddly part. These are the bits of sea glass which I drilled with you. Really, really like these, and you can see how nice they are with the oil. They are like completely popping in the light. I am obsessed. What I'm going to use, I've got my chains here. These are 1.4mm 18-inch Belcher chains. That's a mouthful. I have tried quite a few out and these are just the ones that I like the most. They look super dainty with sea glass on them, and yeah, I just think they're really nice. So like I showed you earlier, this is my little pot full of jump rings. And depending on the bit of sea glass, it all depends on what size jump ring I will use. Okay, so I have put a 6mm heavy jump ring on this one. I want it just to fall really nicely on the chain. I think it's so important that a pendant falls nicely on a chain as it doesn't get like caught. So let me just do this one up. Lovely. Something that I'm trying to do as well is this, 2 bits of sea glass on one necklace. This is purely just so I can make the most of my sea glass. Anything slightly too small, then at least it's being used, and anything too big looks really good with these little ones. Okay, as you can see here, I've matched up 5 with the leaf bell. I've got 1 spare in case anything goes wrong. I use a toothpick to get the glue on. So I'm gonna mix, oh my gosh, see, already causing havoc. I'm mixing my hardener and my resin. Just on anything, a piece of cardboard will work. Half of each. Taking this little stick, giving it a mix. Now this dries really, really quick. I got this from Kernowcraft. So what I'm going to do is on the back of my leaf bale, get some onto here. I also put a tiny dot on the top as well. Now that is literally enough. Make sure my hands are clean, turn it over, and then push it down on the leaf bale where you want it. Just make it sure it's in the position that we want it, and then just pop it down. Did it. Wow, I was completely up against the clock then, but we did it. How many did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I have one extra, which I'm just gonna wait for the perfect bit to come along because obviously I'm using whatever I have here. And then I'll order some more once these ones sell, just so I can do like a nice bulk order if they're in stock. Hopefully I've ordered them by the time this goes up, because if you're watching this and you want some, I know how quickly they go out of stock, so. What am I going to do now? It's lunchtime, but I'm not even hungry. It feels like the day has been so long already, but it's only lunchtime. Love it. Love it when that happens. I've got a bit of a chain issue going on here. Exhibit A. So yeah, I think I'm just going to watch some telly, undo some chains. Wait for these to dry. These won't take that long to dry. But I also need to take photos before the natural light goes, which I'd rather do now because it's quite bright in here. It doesn't look it on the camera, but it is. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go and untangle these, watch some telly, and then I will show you how I take the photos, and I will show you how I package some as well, because I need to wrap up 2 today. So I'll show you how I do that. I have done some little TikToks actually, wrapping them up, which I really enjoy. And if you're on TikTok, or thinking about going on TikTok, highly recommend it if you are a jewellery maker. And also if you just have things to wrap up, because one of the most popular things on there is wrapping up orders. And it's one of my favourite things to watch. And it's just fun to do as well. You can just speed it up, show people how you wrap them. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So if you're not on TikTok, that's going to be my tip. Don't just think it's full of random people dancing. Don't get me wrong, it is, but it's also got some really cool things on there. And once you get your algorithm, what word just came out of my mouth? Once you get your algorithm right and you're following the right people and you're watching the right videos, you will get so many tips from it and just get inspired. It's great. Also reels, everyone loves a reel on Instagram. Okay, as you can see, the lighting is pretty good now. Maybe not so good for filming, but good for taking photos of products because of the place that I do it. Behind me, you can see I've got a big white backdrop. That's very mediocre. Yeah, basically because we live in quite a small space. I mean, it's not that small, but small enough where I have to make do with kind of the space that I've got. I keep this behind my sofa. So it's, yeah, obviously not flat like it should be. However, I kind of curve it on the sofa where the natural light is coming through, and I then put this crystal on top, and then I take all photos of necklaces like hanging off this crystal. The colour's really nice because it brings out kind of the colours of the sea glass that I have. If anything was ever slightly pink, if I had a bit of like pink hued sea glass, I won't use this purely because you can't see that it's a pink bit of sea glass, and that's obviously pretty rare. So I use this for most photos that I take. I just think it's very, very simple, but it looks pretty professional in my photos. What I do then is go onto Lightroom. I have a preset already for sea glass, which kind of sharpens the images and makes them look like they do in their real natural state, because obviously cameras don't always pick up everything how it should look. And I then upload them to Etsy and obviously share them on social media as well. I will put in a couple of examples just so you can see kind of how I take my photos and how they look afterwards, and then I'll just try and get 2 or 3 nice ones of each. I will do portrait and landscape, so if I want to put any onto my Instagram story, it's portrait, and then landscape is for Etsy. So that's pretty much it. I've done all of my photos. Here's all of the bits of sea glass on the floor. I have put them in the organza bags, which is what I use. What I'm gonna do is upload them to Lightroom, put on the preset like filter that I use, and then trim them down and just make sure they all look fine. And I don't know when I'm gonna upload them. I think I'm either gonna do it tomorrow for like a little Friday like treat, like new stuff on the website kind of thing, especially considering now I have the leaf bear ones, which are so popular and sold out last time pretty quickly, and I do get asked if I'm ever doing them again. So yeah, I'm gonna put those up. I'm really excited. I do really want to keep one for myself, but I'm also like, I don't know if you'll know what I mean. I feel like it's a weird thing with jewellery makers. It was so nice to keep things for yourself, but at the same time it's also just nice giving your best things away to other people. So yeah, I'm gonna order some more, I think. I'm just gonna do a bit of an inventory check and see if there's anything I need to buy, things like that. This is the most kind of diverse selection that I've put on or will be putting on, because I've got some doubles on there, which I only have ever done once, and that one sold. Yeah, I've just got a real mix. I'm really excited to put them up. But what am I gonna do now? Oh, I'm gonna show you how I package a sea glass necklace. I'm going to do that now. Good afternoon. It is actually a different day, and you might have noticed the quality's gone a little bit worse because I am filming this on my phone. I ended up having a migraine, so I am, finishing this on a different day. I couldn't do anything, I couldn't talk, I basically went to sleep for quite a long time, but I regardless had a really nice day focusing purely on jewellery making and being able to show you exactly what I get up to, which might be a little bit different to a typical jewellery business purely because I work full-time alongside it. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to Kernowcraft for having me on this series, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for having me. My account is created by Niki UK on Etsy. If you fancy checking out any of the jewellery that I create, I'm also created by Niki on Instagram, so feel free to check it out and have a great day. Thanks.